It was the winter of 1943, and the Eastern Front had become a frozen hell. Our unit, part of the Wehrmacht, had been fighting in the Soviet Union for what felt like an eternity. The cold was unbearable, seeping into our bones and turning our breath into clouds of ice. We had grown accustomed to the biting wind, the endless snow, and the sounds of distant artillery. But nothing could prepare us for the battles that lay ahead. The orders came in the early hours of the morning. We were to hold a strategic village against a Soviet counteroffensive. The village, barely more than a cluster of wooden houses, had no real value to us, but to the Soviets, it was a gateway to pushing us further back. We dug in, setting up machine guns in the windows and reinforcing the few stone walls with whatever we could find. By midday, the first Soviet shells began to fall. The earth shook with each explosion, sending snow and dirt flying into the air. We huddled in our makeshift positions, clutching our rifles and praying that the next shell wouldn't find us. The bombardment lasted for what felt like hours, and when it finally stopped, an eerie silence fell over the village. Then they came. Soviet infantry, hundreds of them, pouring out of the tree line like a flood. We opened fire, our machine guns cutting down the first waves, but they kept coming. I could see the determination in their eyes, the same look we had when we first invaded. They were fighting for their homeland, and nothing would stop them. The battle was brutal. The Soviets advanced through the snow, using the terrain to their advantage. We fought from house to house, street to street, each step costing us dearly. The cold made everything harder, our fingers numb on the triggers, our breath freezing in our throats. But we held on, driven by a grim determination to survive. As night fell, the village was a smoking ruin. We had managed to hold the line, but at a terrible cost. The bodies of our comrades lay in the snow, their faces frozen in expressions of pain and fear. The Soviets had withdrawn for now, but we knew they would be back, and in greater numbers. I sat by a small fire, trying to warm my hands, staring into the flames. The faces of my fallen comrades haunted me, their last moments playing over and over in my mind. The war had taken so much from us, and it was clear that it was far from over. We were fighting a losing battle, each day a struggle for survival against an enemy that grew stronger with each passing moment. The winter of 1943 was a turning point. We had come to the Soviet Union as conquerors, but now we were fighting just to hold onto what little ground we had left. The harsh reality of war was sinking in. We were not invincible, and our time was running out. We were trapped in a land that showed us no mercy, facing an enemy that would stop at nothing to drive us back. All we could do was fight on, hoping that somehow we would make it through another day.